Okay, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the MPC of October 13th, 9:30 a.m. This is the last meeting of this term, and I was honored to be chair for the 4 years. It's been a blast. Thank you very much. I'd like to call this meeting to order at 9:31. You have an agenda before you. Are there any additions or deletions?
Yes, there is an addition to the agenda. Casey Marshall of 350 Farms would like to be a delegate for her application of 2021 D199, the glamping and events venue. And additionally, Daniel Bryson would also like to speak regarding this application.
Okay, thank you. Okay, a motion to adopt the agenda.
I'll move the agenda with the additions.
Thank you. Reeve Sajik makes the motion. Okay, I'll call the vote.
Is it working? Okay.
And that is carried. Thank you. You have the minutes before you of the previous meeting, August 10th, 2021. Any errors or omissions there? Anyone? If not, a motion.
Mr. Chair, I'll make that motion.
Councillor Jubenville makes the motion to adopt the minutes. Thank you. Okay, so I'll call the vote. And that is carried. Thank you. No business arising from the minutes. Go on to development applications. 5.1 2021-D-183 for a major home business for microgreen production business.
The applicant is Happy Hollow Microgreens, and the owner is Christy and Curtis Tetro. The applicant is applying for a major home business to operate a microgreen production business out of an existing detached garage and a future greenhouse. The property is located on the northeast corner of Township Road 630 and Range Road 435. The adjacent properties are residential parcels, agricultural quarter sections, and remnants. The applicant has been growing and selling microgreens since 2020, but was unaware of the permit requirements. They applied for the permits prior to any enforcement by the planning department. Microgreens are sprouts of a variety of edible plants like broccoli, peas, and sunflowers. The only staff are the family members, and they prepare the vertical gardens in the garage and grow in their house. They currently deliver the greens to their customers. They would like to build a greenhouse for this use within 2 years. Adjacent landowner letters were sent out on September 22nd of 2021, and we received no response. Our recommendation for development application 2021-D-138 is approve the request for a major home business for a microgreen production business with the standard conditions.
Okay, thank you. Any questions?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, just can you brief us again the difference between major home business and I guess minor home business, was that? What was that?
Yes, that's correct. Major and minor home business. Minor home business is working out of the house only and only employs people that actually live in the house. Once you go outside of the house or hire more employees, then you have to convert to a major home business. A minor home business is a permitted use in a few of the districts in the municipality, and a major is a discretionary in a few of the districts.
So in this case, though, are they hiring people out of the house to work?
No, but they are working outside of the house. They are working in the detached garage and put a future greenhouse.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, any other questions?
No, Mr. Chair, I'll just make a motion to approve.
Thank you. Councillor Schweigert makes the motion to approve. Okay, I'll call the vote. And that is carried. Thank you. Okay, development application 5.2 2021-D-199 for intensive recreation at 10-site glamping and events venue.
The applicant is Casey Marshall of 350 Farms. The applicant is applying for an intensive recreation use for a 10-site glamping and events venue. The property is located southwest of Township Road 640 and Range Road 431 intersection. Adjacent properties are quarter sections and remnants. The applicant currently operates 350 farms where they raise kuni pigs and other traditional farm animals. They would like to open up to the public and offer glamping, glorious camping, and operate as an events venue. They would offer farm tours for birthday parties, schools, daycares, sports teams, and other community groups. They would like to add on an open-air pavilion with outdoor cooking facilities for events and celebrations. They would like to utilize their barn for a store, event space, and breakfast dining room for inclement weather. They are in the process of obtaining engineered drawings for the barn as it was constructed as a farm building, and a building permit is required for the change of use. The applicant would like to set up 10 glamping sites with canvas tents. The sites will be in the northwest forested area of the quarter. There will be a trail network to and around the sites accessible by foot, horseback, golf course, or UTV. There will be portable toilets close to the sites with the plan to construct a washroom and shower facility. The tents will be fully kitted with all the camping essentials and have wood stoves which require building permits. The sites will be lit by solar power lights powered by battery packs to charge small devices. They do not plan to install electricity. They would like to offer farm fresh breakfast with their farm produced foods. Adjacent letters were sent out on June 22nd, and we received a call for clarification on what glamping is, and a letter of concern came in last night, which I have provided a copy to you. A summary of their concerns are that it's not needed as a campground exists in the area. They're concerned about the number of campers and fire pits in dry forest areas, the size of events and the rules of the events, garbage and attracting bears, trespassing, noise, what is to stop the change of scope or change of ownership, and impact on future development and density of the area. Some of these concerns are addressed in the conditions, which we do have in the conditions that they would comply with the noise control bylaw and the nuisance bylaw. Bear-proof containers would need to be supplied. Fire pits would have to be approved through the Regional Fire Authority. And one of the final conditions that we add on most developments like this is that this permit is being approved for the scope that they are applying for. Any changes of use, expansions would require a new permit, or this permit would be deemed invalid and we would go into enforcement action. We do have Casey Marshall here to speak to her application.
Okay, thank you, Casey. Come forward, please, and speak in favor. Thank you.
May I ask a question first?
Okay, go ahead.
I'm just, so this letter, is this two separate events? Like, I don't really understand the part with the pigs and stuff.
So the letter came in from an adjacent landowner, and they are recalling, they have a letter attached from their renter of an event that happened.
Okay, so the event is from the neighbor.
The event is from the neighbor, yeah.
Okay, okay, go ahead. Thank you.
Hey, all right. I'll wait for the presentation to come up. Thank you guys for letting me speak today. I really appreciate the opportunity. So I want to introduce you guys to who we are. 350 Farms, it's my husband and myself. My husband is a F-18 pilot out of Four Wing in Cold Lake, and I want to say that this is important just because we've got to live in a lot of great places. Come on, there you go. And when we moved to the Lakeland pre-COVID, we really fell in love with this area. Fell in love with it so much so that we decided to buy this parcel to expand our farming operations, which we raise kuni pasture pork. This is a special pork breed from New Zealand. It actually has an upturned snout, and they actually graze on pastures without destroying the land. So it's very sustainable practice, and it's something that we really strive towards, very organic nature. We do practice sustainable and regenerative agriculture, and what we want to do is we want to create a place of community. We are not big business, but we do want to promote the agricultural sector and agricultural tourism within the Lakeland region. So that's one thing that we do want to do, because people are disconnected from their food system. Even I was. I grew up in an agricultural community. We raised our own food. I never rode in a combine until I was in university. And I thought it was the greatest thing ever. I had fun taking meals to people on the combine and learning about how my food was actually made and how commodities got where they needed to go. So one little tidbit here, agro tourism. This is gonna be really jumping in the next decade. So Forbes actually did a study, and it's gonna rise to around $117 billion industry. And how and you choose to capitalize on this is obviously every jurisdiction's discretion, but our goal is really to do this in an organic way. I just want to call that out. People want to be connected to their community. They want to be connected to their food system. And the other reason is that agritourism is considered sustainable. What this means is that it benefits multiple sectors. We benefit the tourism sector, we benefit the agricultural sector, and we benefit the rural communities around us. For instance, we don't produce beef. We could promote, for instance, Charlotte Lake Farms. We could promote their beef. We can promote other things. If there's a soap maker in town, we can actually use those soaps in our business instead of going outside to do this. So this is one of those things. Keep this circle, keep this local trust as much as we can. So what is glamping? As we said, we want to use something called a canvas bell tent. This is a really easy structure with a center pole, guy lines. It sets up, it's about 200 to 300 square foot. So you can fit 1, 2 queen size beds in it. What this does is this allows people who, they're not taking a shortcut. They either do not have the funds or the ability to set up complex camping equipment. They don't have the experience. This is a gateway to enable people to interact with the land around us in a way that is safe and low stress and easily accessible for them. This is not glorified camping. This is not catering to people that are high maintenance. This is really a gateway to allow people to access the nature around us. And there are campsites. There are municipal campsites. There are campsites. They are not glamping. They do not have the tent. Yes, we have a bed. They don't have the facilities there. Someone has to bring this all in. And I really recall a story that I heard at Open Farm Days. And it was grandparents. And they kept, we were talking to them, my husband was talking about this idea, and he's like, we have this idea. And he was kind of, seeing if it would resonate. And these grandparents said, you know what? That would be absolutely perfect, because right now my grandkids want to go camping. We don't have a trailer. I can't set up. I can't live on an air mattress for a night. It's just too painful for me. And that really resonated with us, because it's going to allow families to connect together, maybe even extended families that wouldn't otherwise be able to do this. So that's kind of where we landed at with glamping. We don't want to build invasive cabins. We don't want to be large. We want to create a community that is sustainable and that is manageable and that is appropriate size for the land. So practical matters, let's discuss that. We covered a lot of them in this. Waste is going to be for municipal bylaw and provincial regulations. Bear-proof containers, a lot of them. Checking the trash daily, checking the roadways daily. Our property and the access all the way to Highway 897. We take the stewardship of the land super seriously. And so that's one thing we want to make sure that everyone is aware of. And the waste, I did them in reverse, very sorry. Waste is going to be washroom, shower facilities, standalone septic system. We are not going to be doing any type of a discharge. We are going to be doing pump out. It is going to be standalone. Next to the tents, there are going to be portable toilets, but this is a very low impact facility. Electric golf carts are mainly going to be used to reduce noise. Cars will come in, they will park, they will not be used again until the guest leaves. So that is trash and waste, traffic. So we're located on Highway 897 and Township Road 640, just off of that. This is a road that's really well traveled already. Highway 897 is the road that goes past neighbors' houses. I believe the Bryson's renters actually have a business called Wolfpack Bounce Houses, and they've been setting this up in their land right off Highway 897. And so for us, for traffic, we don't really see this as any type of an issue, because we only have 1,500 foot of gravel. And the gravel is 1,300 feet from the nearest well. So we don't really see dust as an issue. We don't plan on having that many people. So I don't really worry too much about the traffic. And we do water down our access that's on our property. So noise, and this is one I could see really potentially even for myself, I would, you know, especially if I'm building a cabin there in the future and I'm gonna live on property, I wouldn't want noise either. I like silence when I sleep. So noise, municipal bylaw, again, there are quiet hours. We are not going to disturb that. If there's any type of special event that we would want permission for, we would seek that. But I don't see noise carrying. Just a little bit of tidbits. The open air venue where potentially there could be an event is over 1,000 feet from the nearest dwelling, and the glamping sites are 2,000 to 3,000 feet away. So we've tried to really space this out and keep it at a manageable distance for everybody involved. And the benefits. So I'm not going to read all these off, but really, as I said, the benefits, we want to connect the community. We want to make sure that children have a easily accessible place that they can go that's going to work with a school-based curriculum that is going to teach them something. The goal is that when someone comes to our property, they go away knowing more than they came in with. So we want to be educational. We want to be good stewards to our environments, and we want to work with the Lakeland region, all of our agro businesses around us, and we want to make this successful to make other people successful, because really one of the things I really believe is abundance. It doesn't create competition, it creates opportunity. And I think the Lakeland is super primed for this opportunity, and we would be absolutely honored to be part of this. And we think what we raise and the facility and the location that we have would be perfect for it. So thank you guys for letting me speak. I really appreciate it. And thank you for your consideration again.
Thank you. Any questions? Anyone? Okay, thank you very much. Now we have Mr. Bryson to speak against this. Is the mic on? Thank you.
To stay on the whole time? It should. Oh, thank you. Oh. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right. Thank you for having us this morning and for your continued work as a municipality and councilors and staff. Sorry, my wife was on night shift last night, so I'm just going via email on a few things here. First and foremost, I'm not dead set against any development or improvements or growth per se, for that matter. A lot of this was we were unaware of the proposed plans, so some stress testing or concerns obviously come up. Thank you, Casey, for putting everything together here. That does solve the majority of what we had. I guess still there could be a few going forward.
Mr. Chair, can I just ask who Mr. Bryson is, where he lives? Is it?
Sure.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, no problem.
I'm the adjacent landowner directly to the east.
Directly east, okay, thank you.
Yeah. We've had that for over 10 years or so. It's actually a beautiful property you have there as well. We've looked at it a couple of times. Not physically, just the purchase. So as far as the property itself goes, I guess what is the intention of this overall? Is it a family farm? Is it a personal dwelling? Is it a minor or major home-based business? Is it a campground, I suppose, right? So maybe some distinction could be made on that. Now, also with everything that's being provided here, and this is great, I get to see this for the first time this morning here, and it does resolve a lot of concerns, is potentially the size of some of these things, or the frequencies, or going forward. And I believe that's a good part of the planning and development with anything going forward. That's why we have our area structure plans and so on and so forth. Hypothetically, if this weren't to have been here, and myself as an adjacent landowner, I came in and I had a great proposal for a small-based business going rural industrial on agricultural on 80 acres. Well, that's fine and dandy. There's nothing there at that time, and it wouldn't affect many things with mitigations put into place. Then 10 years later, somebody else wants to come in and put a house up, Well, meanwhile, that's kind of already changed the direction of the area and where it's going. The property that we've owned for, as I said, over 10 years. We had thought about putting our primary dwelling there, but we're probably going to be putting a retirement. That'll be our next place, or for our kids going forward. So this is where the concerns lie. You guys in the area structure plans throughout the years since '99, when it was done throughout the area, either side of 55, and a couple of years ago as well, on your most recent one going forward, and also your recreational plans going forward as well, I believe are sound and true. Now, there's a balance between what we have already in the area for amenities and in the municipality for campgrounds that are already effective, both publicly and privately owned, and their capacities and their regulation with the bylaws throughout the peace officers. I see no problem with the farming operation that's going on here and the education thereof, and this could seem to be a fairly decent idea. I think we do need to separate feelings from facts on what does it lead to going forward? What is the size and frequency of events? Can we just look at these things and set some of these things up ahead of time before it changes and alters and grows going forward? So to briefly reiterate some of the rules put in place and regulation, who would be regulating those, and potential size of events and frequencies. The fires at Eatsdale, thank you, Casey, for addressing that. The garbage as well, along with bears and wildlife, thank you for that. One other thing is the volume of people that potentially could be attracted to this, both as a camping event, while the people are there and while they're not. Now, this used to be a quiet piece of road with nobody on it and was not attracting traffic or the attention of people coming for either vandalism or theft. The trail system as well, I know there are trails around here, so there's a possible concern about trespassing or where the trail limitations would be set. Now, I'm hoping a concern of possible ATV access. Once again, when this glamping notice was set forward, I was not privy to any of this information and what the designs would be. So I'm also hoping as well that there are conditions set for ATV access and use throughout here. Just that typically comes along with camping, as we know, in the area. So would the size and intensity of this application not lead it to be a commercial venture? I'm not sure right now if there is a business based on this, a farm based on this, primary dwelling, or a campground. So I guess there's just concerns on the clarity of this, you know, and the events venue and tours. Yeah, the intention and development overall and how that's going to affect the area. So going forward, if there's already something similar to a subdivision on my adjacent property, does that lead to my property or the other adjacents going in the same direction? So with that being said, Casey, I'll thank you again for everything you've put together. I do appreciate the sustainable development and small farming that you're an advocate for. I do believe there's more of that needed in this area and overall, similar to the first application we'd seen this morning prior. Those aren't where any concerns are. We're just thinking the continued development and size going forward and how it might transition.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Bryson. Any questions for Mr. Bryson? Councilor Fideo?
Yes, sir.
Not necessarily for Mr. Bryson, but for anyone. I'm just looking at the letter here. the objection letter D199. So on the very bottom, it was from Morgan Waters to Michelle Bryson. A couple of things that kind of stuck in the highlight for me was autistic 2-year-old, and hubby was arrested and released the next day. You know, we keep hearing about local trust, and that kind of, I don't know, what, could somebody shed some light on that for me?
I am not privy totally to that information. I did not want to go into any personal attacks and keep this a professional level. So I don't know if I want to read this letter. I will slightly amend this letter, keeping it clean.
No, okay, it's fine. Okay, you're okay? Go ahead.
Just need some clarification.
Okay, she
on
wanted
this.
to speak, go ahead.
There's some,
Can you come to the mic?
So I would like to shed some light, but very, very briefly, because I think the matter is resolved. There was a dispute, my father and my son were also there. There was a dispute about land boundaries, which we then came and clarified with the planning department. The gentleman was taken by the RCMP after he was very much a disturbance on our property, petting the animals. He was arrested for previous warrants somewhere else, but subsequently, his wife did reach out to us. We are swine experts in our field, and they reached out to us about a sick pig, and we actually provided them and helped them care for this animal. So in our perspective, we're very happy to continue dialogue and talking to them. We harbor no ill feelings. I'm very sorry for what happened to the gentleman, but I could not help his past acts and what led to that arrest. So that's all I just want to say on that. I don't harbor any ill will around that.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
thank you for that, appreciate it.
Okay, any other questions to anyone? Okay, Reeve Sawchuk?
Yeah, no, I'll just speak to the whole issue. You know, we're looking for opportunities within the area, especially in regards to product. This has come up time and time again in our discussions around bringing tourism to the area. And I have a little experience in this field 15 years ago, doing, of course, farm entertainment. It's a challenging thing to get involved in, but there are right ways and wrong ways. And one of my first jobs was actually working on a farm in Southern Ontario. And it did a similar thing, was one of the first agritourism businesses going. And they employed local kids. And so, you know, it's something to keep in mind as you grow, to reach out to your neighbors and look at some of those youngsters out there to give you a helping hand on the farm. I would support this. I think it's a great new thing to add to the lakeland.
Is that a motion?
Sure, I'll make a motion to approve this.
Thank you. Reeve Sawchuk makes the motion to approve. Any more discussion? Councillor Jubenville?
Mr. Chair, I have a question. Yes, regarding one of your slides showing a building, showing a barn. I'm assuming that's a barn that is on the facility or that's on the property, and that's the one you're going to retrofit into your store. Is that correct, or was that just a photo from magazine?
No, that is our barn.
Okay.
So that is our barn. We ideally would like to retrofit this to be able to either host breakfast in inclement weather to extend the tourism season, or to be able to have the store, we do goat's milk soaps. We do actually want to, our kuni-kunis are used for charcuteries. We actually want to bring the first in-house charcuterie processing here, not in the barn. We'd actually do a different thing. That's a whole different subject. But it's things that can work with like the old school cheesery or local charcuterie places. So we do want to offer that and then offer the meats in the store, and even go so far as doing CSA models and things like that. So yeah, there's a lot of really fun plans. That barn, you guys, that started it all. This barn resonated with people. They loved it. So yeah, that's the barn.
So one more question: How many animals do you have there now? How many
Yeah, so
cooey pigs?
we have Right now on property, because we're kind of sold out for the fall, we have about 40 on site. These pigs are probably 200 to 400 pounds at their biggest. We actually butcher a little over 200 pounds. And then we do bring, work with our mentors in Ontario. We do bring in around 40 to 60 feeders every couple of months now. So we're really ramping up that production more than we could ever breed. And it's working out really well because they focus on research and we're focusing on carcass merit and providing a affordable product.
So one last comment, Mr. Chair. So out of all the places that you've been in the world, I'm very glad that you have picked the MD of Bonnyville and the Lakeland to choose to do this. So that says a lot for our region. I'm in favor of this also.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any more discussion? Okay, we have a motion to support this, to approve this. I'll call the vote. And that is carried. Thank you. Okay, thank you delegations for coming. Next, 5.3, 2021-D-201 for Animal Services Facility for an animal shelter.
The applicant is the Lakeland Humane Society. The applicant is applying for an animal services facility for an animal shelter to be located at an existing kennel. The property is located 0.7 of a kilometer east of Highway 55 and Highway 897 intersection. The adjacent properties are residential parcels, an industrial use lot, agricultural quarter section, and remnants. The applicant purchased Terramera Kennels property in June and are awaiting title. They would like to operate the animal shelter at this location. They would like to expand the facility to include 4 offices, 1 storage room / loading dock, and cover the dog runs. The shelter employs 1 to 10 people, will be open 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. with some evenings. Waste will be disposed of in a 6-yard rental bin. Adjacent landowner letters were sent out on September 22nd, and we received no response. An application for the change of use was sent to Alberta Transportation. Recommendation for development application 2021-D-201 is approve the request for an animal services facility for an animal shelter with the standard conditions.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? Councilor Fideo?
Chrissy, you had mentioned a change of use for Alberta Transportation. That's always been a kennel for as long as I remember it. So can you clarify how that would be a change of use?
So, well, in our land use definition, a kennel is different than than an animal services facility. Alberta Transportation may classify it as the same thing, but to cover their butts, this is just the best process to take.
Okay, thank you. Any more discussion? Councilor Duchesne?
Yes, I was looking at Appendix 3 there, and in the aerial photo, you have 1, 2, and 2. Are those going to be new buildings, or is that existing buildings turned into the specifics?
So number 1 would be the loading dock, 4 offices and storage room, which would be in addition to the existing building. And then number 2 and 2 are going to be the roof lines covering the dog runs attached to the
okay.
existing. Yeah.
Thank you.
Any more discussion? Okay, a motion, anyone?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to approve. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Schweigert makes the motion to approve. Any more discussion? Okay, I'll call the vote. And that is carried. Thank you. Okay, on to 5.4, 2021-D-202, intensive recreation for wellness retreat business.
The applicant is White Trees Retreats. The owner is Mark and Sarah Shaleen. The applicant is applying for an intensive recreation use for a wilderness retreat business. This use is included under the intensive recreation definition, Part 8 of the Land Use Bylaw. The property is located at Nicholson Multi-Lot Subdivision on Moose Lake. Adjacent properties are 2 residential lots and lakefront reserve. The The applicants would like to operate a home-based wellness retreat business for overscheduled entrepreneurs. They will offer weekend retreats and full and half-day workshops. They will host groups of 5 to 10 people to the maximum of 10 days per month. Meals and accommodations will be provided. The activities will include beekeeping tours and honey tasting, pottery, water sports, hiking, tours of the local cidery, spa services in town, golf, fishing, and more. The weekend retreat also includes an orientation and mindset training prior to attending. Adjacent landowner letters were sent out on September 22nd, and we received no response. Our recommendation for development application 2021-D-202 is approve the request for an intensive recreation for a wellness retreat business with the standard conditions.
Oh, wait, thank you. Any discussion? Councilor Fidelio?
So you're saying 5 to 10 people in regards to, I guess, congestion on that cul-de-sac. Where would they park?
The house to the west is an Airbnb, which she will be utilizing, as well as her RV for overnight spaces. So between her lot and his lot, the parking will be there.
Okay, Councilor Duchesne?
Yeah, this is a wellness retreat. Makes it sound like it's a, I guess, a clinic of some kind. I was just wondering if there's anybody with any credentials to operate that, or is it just going to be private citizens running it?
Sarah is here, if you want to address the question to her.
Just wondering, yeah.
You can come forward, Sarah. Thank you.
Hi, thank you for having me. No, I'm not certified. I have a business degree, an associate degree in arts, and I'm not planning on offering any clinical type services of any kind.
Okay, thank you. Any more questions? Councilor Scarson?
Yeah, like, well, not necessarily a question, but I've seen the area, and I've talked to Sarah about the plan, and I really think it's gonna do well, so I'll make the motion to approve.
Thank you. Councilor Scarson makes the motion to approve. Any more discussion?
Yeah, that's, I'm glad Councilor Scarson approves it, because you kind of worry about a residential subdivision and a business moving in, and I guess I'm happy that none of the residents, were concerned. We have other subdivisions around there where you might have a mechanic shop or something, or I think there's a plumbing shop, stuck into a subdivision, and you think, well, man, that's been there a long time, but it probably is causing problems for residents. But I mean, if you think this is going to work and Councilor Scarson's happy about it, I'd be great for it, I guess. Be a great spot, I suppose. I don't know.
Thank
I
you.
think it goes back to the Airbnb conversation, right? And their neighbor has one there, and they're starting to pop up, and so they're not. I don't think you're going to have more than you can accommodate, right? So, they have a shop garage style on the lot next door to them as well. So, I think there's plenty of room, and they're right on the lake. It's a good spot for sure.
Thank you. Any more discussion? Reeve Sawchuk?
I think some of us may need those services after Monday.
You took the thunder. I was going to say we can all go there Tuesday morning.
Yes.
So, okay, we have a motion to approve. Any more discussion? Okay, so I'll call the vote. And thank you, Sarah.
Thank you.
And that is carried. So do we have to make appointments Tuesday morning or what? Just come in there? Okay, we'll just walk in, all of us. Okay, thank you. There's no correspondence. Other business, 7.1, Barry Lucia provincially approved gravel pit permit.
Yes, Mr. Luciak has received his SML for his gravel pit near Dupree, and as per the land use bylaw, if a provincial body approves a use, the municipality, the development officer has to issue a permit for it, and we have issued a permit for it.
So we need a motion to,
Except
no,
as
we need, just for
information.
information, right? There's just one
for
concern I
information.
have. Go ahead, Councillor Duchesne.
Yeah, I just want to congratulate him. After 10 long years of hard labor, he got through.
I was expecting to see Ed Duchesne provincially approved here, but anyway, there's one concern with the landowner who lives on that road. He was wondering about dust control because Mr. Lucia said he'll be hauling mostly in the winter, but it could be hauling also some in the summer. So he was wondering about dust control, if Mr. Lucia can put dust control on that road.
So, part of the process with that, we did refer this application and the development permit to Infrastructure Services, because he does have to actually build a road up to the pit past Mr. Brochu, and he also has to enter into a road use agreement with Infrastructure Services. So if Infrastructure Services determines that he does require the dust control, they can require him to put that on there.
Yeah, well, the landowner made that request to me, so
To me, so it has to go through Infrastructure Services when it is required.
could you make that as one of the conditions?
It is part of the conditions, enter into a road use agreement, but the concern has to go to Infrastructure Services.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, thank you for that info. Subdivision applications? There is no motion. That's just for, do you want a motion to accept this information or no? Yeah? Okay, a motion to accept this as information. Councillor Jubenville makes the motion to accept this information. Okay, any more discussion? I'll call the vote. And that is carried. Thank you. Subdivision applications, 2021-S-015 for Northwest 20-60-5 west of the 4th, Plan 132, 4472, Blocks 1, Lot 2.
Good morning, gentlemen. This subdivision application is proposed to subdivide one 10-acre parcel from a previously subdivided agricultural 80-acre parcel. The subject site is located approximately 2.5 miles north of Muriel Lake on Range Road 455. The applicants are Explore Surveys. Owners are Greg and Deborah Fontaine. This application meets all conditions of the Municipal Government Act subdivision and development regulations, the Lower Athabasca Regional Plan, Municipal Development Plan, and the Land Use Bylaw. Therefore, we recommend it be approved with the following conditions: legal and physical access to proposed parcel and remnant, cash in lieu of $4,085 per hectare for 10% of proposed parcels. Real property report. Existing sewage disposal shall comply to the Alberta Safety Codes Act and Province of Alberta Public Health Act, and taxes to be paid in full.
Thank you. Any discussion on this application or motion?
I'll make that motion to approve, Mr. Chair.
Councillor Jubenville makes the motion to approve. Any more discussion? Okay, call the vote. And that is carried. Thank you. Okay, no subdivision extension requests. Next meeting Monday, November 8th. Monday.
Yes, there is already other stuff planned for Tuesday, for, I think it's orientation or something for council. So we need to move it to Monday, the 8th.
Okay, thank you very much. So a motion to adjourn. Question?
I'm just wondering, with the past years of meetings, the Municor meetings were held at 10 o'clock Monday mornings on that date. So I'm just wondering, since it's going to be the first meeting of the new council, probably it won't matter to miss that. I just wanted to mention it.
So you'll be okay with Monday?
I'm okay with Monday. I just, whoever the counselor is in.
Oh,
in
yeah,
that
whoever's going to
committee.
be on the committee,
So-
yeah.
So just to be aware, that's their regular meeting date. And it's usually on Zoom, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, just for your information. Thank you.
Thank you for that information. Okay, motion to adjourn. Counselor DeShane makes the motion to adjourn. Call the vote. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. All right, have a good rest of the week and have a good Monday.